Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Hey-o!
It's Thursday. Welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I want to start by saying rest in peace, Lane Mills. Anybody know who Lane Mills is?
The boxing ref, right?
Very well done.
Yeah.
How old was he? Once upon a time, if there was a big fight, particularly a big heavyweight fight,
Yeah.
the referee, the in-ring referee, was Lane Mills.
Yes.
He must be really old,
He
right?
was in the ring for Muhammad Ali, Tyson, Evander Holyfield. He was in the ring when Tyson bit Holyfield's ear. In fact, you could probably close your eyes and see it still.
Yeah.
Lane Mills is looking in at the ear, and he gets this look on his face like, what the hell happened? And then he just waves his arms. That's the end of the fight.
How old is he, do you know?
85.
Oh, I thought he was older than that.
He had a stroke.
Damn.
A long time ago. It's like 20 years ago, I want to say.
Is it true that
he was young?
Is it true that Evander Holyfield was headbutting Mike Tyson in there, and the ref missed it?
No, they were coming together. I mean, it's hard to say whether Holyfield was leaning into Tyson or they both were
Tyson
coming in
was a
together.
lunatic,
There
so-
was a lot of that.
I watched it. You know, Tyson got his thing on Hulu.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and that's
Yeah.
what he was saying.
Tyson always said the reason he bit him is because Holyfield was headbutting.
Yeah.
And he was not
Not an excuse for biting someone's ear,
No.
but
The most important thing to start off with is, by the way, man, that's a dope sweater, right? That little mock turtleneck you got right there. That Sean Connery boy, that's gonna get it done.
Thank you, man.
I'd have that in the club. I'd have that in the club.
When we going?
Hey, listen.
When we going?
Listen, I went out with Anthony Lima the other couple days ago. That was crazy.
Lima in the club could be a lot of fun.
yeah, but now he's married with a kid. He's going to the
That's
club
why
still?
he could be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
You're
that's true.
hilarious.
You know who if I had one draft pick,
Yeah.
who I'd most want to take to a club?
He's.
Me?
Tyvis.
Yeah, I don't.
By the way,
That's who I want to take you
I
to a
don't
club.
club.
Tyvis would be a good wingman.
I don't club.
I'm
I
gonna.
second that, by the way. Tyvis would be my
Y'all-
A1 fan.
y'all hilarious because
I
don't-
Going out.
He'd be
I don't
good.
go out.
I'm gonna
so.
give him
No,
credit too.
you got to do what we say, though.
Yeah, come on, bro.
This is what we're starting with.
Don't mess up. Don't mess
This
up
is
the.
what we're finishing with.
These first three bars are scripted, Tyvis. First three bars.
Let's do a pub crawl.
Yeah.
Let's do an Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show
Yes.
pub crawl.
No,
Yes.
they don't want to. They don't want to see that.
Yeah, but
We're
he
not going
doesn't.
to air it. We're going to invite
he and I
our
don't even.
viewers to
Tyvis
come
and I
along
don't
with
drink.
us.
See?
I mean, he doesn't drink, period.
Yeah.
I don't really drink.
For the pub crawl, he
all.
will.
But by the way,
absolutely.
You know, it
Don't
could
be
be
driving.
I was mentioning my dental hygienist yesterday. She told me she's going on this thing, this Kentucky bourbon trail. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Oh, I have heard about that.
It's
That's
cool.
big.
It
sounded pretty cool, even though I'm
bourbon
not a
has become
drinker.
like the chic drink
Oh,
at the
yeah,
moment.
yeah.
By the way, can we get a graphic stinger open for, I want a lot of action, and maybe she starts with her back to the camera and turns around, she's got a dental hygienist tool, and it says, in today's Chronicles of Bull's Dental Hygienist.
I love her. She's the best.
She deserves her own segment.
She does. She's great. By the way, one more.
Hey, look at his teeth. Bro, look at his teeth. Don't they look great? She did a
Clean,
great
got me some
job.
space. Got those Michael Strahan spaces in there.
Yesterday
What
you
is
missed it.
wrong
He
with
was talking
you?
about his teeth, and I said, you know, most of it's genetic. You know, you're born
Yeah.
with good genetic. And he goes, oh, I've got. He said he goes 4 times a year for a cleaning. I'm
Yeah.
like, every
You're supposed to
3
go every
months?
6 months.
He goes, oh yeah, I
got to
gum
keep
issues.
it clean, man.
And G. Bush and I almost lost it when he said, I've got gum issues.
And I floss and use a water pick 3 times a day.
I floss a lot.
All the time.
Yeah.
Tyvis, first of all, I'll give you credit for that jacket.
Thank
That
you.
jacket's
I
hard.
appreciate that.
It's crazy.
And we're going to get into Josh Bell later.
And Tyvis, really, what he did is he been helping me. He been shaving his beard. I've been putting it on with silly putty, and my beard is now growing like a chia pet.
Wait, can we talk about G. Bush grooming during the show? He's
Yeah.
literally been.
Yeah.
Listen, it's better than pulp cutting stickers.
Pulp cutting
during the
stickers,
show.
yes.
Oh, he was doing arts and crafts.
I now know why he was doing
No,
it.
By the
For a
way,
Channel 3 bit
I
that's
told
gonna be
Steve in the back
hilarious.
yesterday, Polk talks with his hands,
Yeah.
and he had scissors in his hands. I was worried he was going to stab Bull
That's
in the
true. It's a good
jugular
point.
yesterday at some
So
point.
was
My
yesterday
kids sit still.
Was yesterday worse than him sipping the beer with the hot dog?
No, that was the worst.
Nothing will top that. The hot dog is a straw for a beer. No.
By the way, guys, we got to do one more shout out to
Okay.
a guy that G and I know very well. I think you know him a little bit. I don't know if you know him at all. My man Jonathan Peterlin.
Pete!
I don't know him. I'm a
I
fan
know
of his
Ain't
work,
he the one
but
that
I don't
took
know him.
over your spot on?
No, that's
No.
Nick Wilson took over my spot in the
I'm a
afternoon.
fan of Nick, too. I think Nick
But
does a good job.
Jonathan Peterlin, who did updates on my show for years, is the new nighttime host on 92.3 The
Oh,
Fan.
Congratulations,
My
man.
man
So he takes
JT.
over for Chico.
He takes over for
Wow.
Chico.
Congratulations.
He's been filling in,
Yeah.
but they last night
Well
he officially.
deserved. I think
Yeah.
he does a really good job on his updates, and it's
Yeah.
obviously very
and
knowledgeable.
he's another one of the few guys in this town that actually knows baseball.
I know he does. That's why
so
I
that's
like
good.
him. I like Chico because he knows baseball.
Yeah, right.
He's
But,
been my partner for 4 years.
You've been working with him for a long
on the
time.
Browns pregame show.
kidding.
And so shout out to him. Shout out to him. He's the
I
same
want to
guy.
give a shout out to you. I don't know what we talked about this. How you get your hair to be texturized like that?
I just talked about this.
You're
before.
getting those little dimples that you were going for. We talked about this on the air.
You curl it. You using a sponge?
Gee, you got 30 seconds. We got a packed show. That
Yeah. What are they
We're
called
never
and
gonna
how are
get
you
it.
doing that?
this
You
is-
sleeping
this
with something
is-
on your
You
hair?
sponging.
I don't want to. They ain't sponsored me yet.
He's sponging it. I knew it.
Shout out to New Dread. They don't sponsor me yet. I can't. If you want to give me a sponsorship,
Is that how you get those?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sponge it.
Wow. It's a really cool look. I'm a fan of it.
But here's what the thing. I'm getting waves tomorrow. I'm gonna get my hair cut.
Oh shit.
I think you
So-
should go for the Jarrett Allen look. That would
I
be,
do too.
That would be
I'd
awesome.
love to see that.
I ain't getting that Afro Thunder.
That would be awesome.
my
Down
hair-
for the Thunder.
if my hair
Busy
grew
show
like that, I
today.
would.
Busy show. Coach Tyvis is going to break down the Deshaun Watson interception in the red zone.
Okay.
What the hell was he thinking? He's going to climb in his dome and tell us. Leroy Horde and Robert Smith. It's our two-pack of running backs. It's a great time anytime we get them together. I'm anxious to hear both of their thoughts on a lot of things. Ohio State still getting in. I want to tell you, Leroy Horde was texting me before the decision was made to put OSU at the 4. And Leroy, and you know this is true, he was running from it. He's like, we better not have to play Ohio State.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
He didn't want no parts of
Nobody wants that Ohio State
it.
smoke.
Nobody. It's hard to beat a team twice, man.
It is.
It is.
You
Super
seen that
hard.
Especially a team with
you
all those skilled players.
You seen that with Bama and Georgia last year.
Right.
Super
Yeah,
hard.
So Leroy and Robert are two-pack of running backs. They're going to be here. We're going to talk about the Guardians spending money. Thank God.
first
I don't
time in a
think they're
few
done.
years.
I don't think they're done.
What a
don't think so
Christmas
either.
present. What a
Yes.
Christmas
Josh
present.
Bell, $33 million over 2. It reminds me of the Encarnacion signing for the 17 season.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came so close in 16.
Yeah.
And they knew they needed another piece. They went out and got it. But in this, I don't think they're done. I think
No, they're definitely going to get a
got to
catcher.
upgrade at catcher.
But there's other things too. We'll get
And
to
there are
that.
other things in the
Yeah.
pipeline and some other moves in baseball. We're going to talk about the Guardians and spending money. Also, Deion Sanders. We want Robert Smith and Leroy to weigh in on Deion leaving the historically black college sphere to go to Colorado, a once dominant program, which has been irrelevant for the last 2 or 3 decades.
90s.
In the early 90s.
They
won a national
got, you know what I'm saying?
championship.
They won a national
Yeah.
championship.
Cordell Stewart, the 70-yard Hail Mary against Michigan. It was
I
a thing
remember
of
that.
beauty.
Yep.
We're going to start, though, with the Cavs game last night.
Yeah.
Nice win.
Yeah.
Now, we do have to, there's a little asterisk next to it because Anthony Davis, who I know it's a short sample, but in the last 4 games, he was playing like an MVP.
Right.
He had
He didn't take
99
a shot
points in 2 games.
By the way, he didn't take a shot in the 8 minutes that he played, which was weird.
Which told me something.
Yeah.
I kept saying the guy's
Right.
shooting 70% over his last 2 games, and he
Right.
hasn't. The ball hasn't left his hand. Something was wrong. I guess he had flu symptoms.
Yes.
So he's out of the game.
Hopefully, he didn't get the Cavs all sick.
It helped the Cavs.
You know,
It really did,
certainly.
but I hope you're right. I hope he didn't breathe on them in 8 minutes.
helping the Cavs was the fact that Jarrett Allen played for the first time in a while.
Yes.
And he
What
was
a
phenomenal.
difference. What a difference.
It
he
makes
made.
me it makes me diminish new players because to think about it, you know, allegedly Michael Jordan was dead in Utah.
Well,
dead.
he was food poisoned.
He was sick. He couldn't breathe, and he got 40.
It's the regular season, though.
He got 40 and won the championship.
He wanted it real bad.
Dang, I mean,
Anthony Davis probably would have played through in the playoffs, I guess.
But you could tell he wasn't feeling right just by the way he didn't take a shot.
Right, it was strange.
And, everybody reacts differently to illness. I think the general theory is that Michael did have food poisoning.
He said it.
And, I mean,
Well,
you
but who
really
knows what the
unless the
truth
doctor
is.
tests you and says, yeah, you had arsenic in
A
your
lot of people
stomach.
say it's some other thing.
Yeah.
They say he-
Who knows?
he
Who
did
knows?
some other
But we know
activities.
this. The man, you could physically lay your eyeballs on him and say, wow, that guy's not right.
Yeah.
And yet, you're right. He just went out there and willed his team to victory in one of the all-time incredible playoff performances.
Crazy.
It was nuts. 43 for D. Mitch. They get the Sacramento Kings on Friday.
Yeah.
I know the win, because Anthony Davis wasn't out there.
Nope. Nope.
It takes a little bit away from it. You have to admit the guy's playing like an MVP.
No, it don't. No, it don't. No, it don't.
It's a win.
Nope. I'm gonna tell you why.
LeBron was out there. That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah,
I want you out here. I don't want you, Anthony. I want LeBron.
First of all,
was the 50 points that he was averaging over the last 2 games.
Yes.
Anthony Davis. I'm
was-
not sure they win.
LeBron was out there, and on top of that, they bench was unbelievable.
Yeah, I
They
know.
like- they had
They
like
were.
42 points off the bench, and I was like,
well,
what
they
is
needed
this
it.
about?
When they lost Davis, someone had to fill that void.
But it was at a point.
Obviously, that's a huge factor, though, that Davis didn't play.
True.
So who cares?
True.
They won the game. By the way,
You don't apologize for it. You know.
how often do you win a game where only 3 players scored more than 7 points?
Yeah, and that was weird. I mean, but you know what? That's kind of what it is right now.
Allen, Donovan Mitchell, and Garland combined for 88, I think.
Yeah, which is nuts. They had 116.
What
You
I
can
mean,
only get
but
28 points off
last
the
year we
bench.
played the Lakers, and Anthony Davis was out. LeBron came here and destroyed.
Just
But in the end,
destroyed.
there's guys out on every team every day. You could put an asterisk next to every win.
No, I'm
so
saying,
I'm taking
I don't
this one.
apologize for it. But you also have to factor in
Sure.
everything. It's a win. You take it, you move on. Here's what I
Cavs
love
have the
about it,
best home record in the NBA.
which is stunning to me. It really is. That's really
that atmosphere
but you know
down
what?
there, huh.
When you go into the games, and Polk talked about this yesterday. I've only been to 1 home game so far, but it feels like a playoff game.
Best
It
home
really
crowd.
does.
They got the best
It's-
home crowd.
It's not quite to the LeBron level.
No.
But
they-
it's
but
it's
they-
way
it's
above
trending
where it's
that way.
been in
Yeah.
past years without LeBron.
And I'm going to tell you this. Cavs got the best closer in the game smoking right now.
There they do.
The best closer.
And that's why you go get him.
Donovan Mitchell is the best closer, and he does not shrink down. I like what JB said.
not get nuts.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Listen,
hold on.
hold
'cause
on.
It is a dude in Milwaukee.
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna give you.
He's
Listen.
in the discussion.
I'm gonna tell you
Not
this.
better than Giannis.
I'll tell you this.
That's what he said. That's what he just said.
I said
you taking him over Steph Curry in a big spot?
No.
No.
Although he can do more than Steph Curry.
But here's what I'm saying though. I like the simple fact that last year JB said something and it was super facts. He said, y'all was around here spectating. Y'all was around here letting LeBron dap you up and chuckle it up, and then he go out there and crack your head for 40 and get you off the sticks.
JB said that?
Yes, he said you guys was innocent,
Didn't say it exactly like
innocent partakers.
I mean, that's exactly what happened, though.
But he said that was the message.
That was and
You were living off LeBron.
And Donovan Mitchell, when you hear him in timeouts, he don't give a no. You know what about none of them dudes. He ain't eating birthday cake with LeBron. He said, all right, well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and just put this out of reach. Y'all get the starters out of here because y'all got it back-to-back. And LeBron was sitting on the end of that bench like this.
By the way, I thought they benched LeBron before it was definitely
I was
over.
They benched him in like the
took him out
4-minute
then,
mark.
too.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it was like 4 minutes left in the game.
I mean, the
made it
Cavs
look
were in
worse.
control, but
It was not
could
out
come
of reach,
back, no.
particularly when the Cavs have blown bigger leads
yeah,
in less time.
that was
this
weird.
year.
They just braved the white flag.
With all due respect,
Well,
because you are the
LeBron's
king
over.
of analogies.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
would like to use an analogy, if that's okay.
Yes. You can borrow my
You're
brother.
the
You
king.
can, but you can. This is your house.
Yeah, no,
you
no,
can
no,
get that
no,
off. This is the house.
Okay, you know what?
The house that Jay built.
WKYC built.
I can't believe you said this is your house. That's my analogy, okay? Here's what happened last night for all of us to see. And I'm not saying that Donovan Mitchell is a better player than LeBron James in the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But in the universe of Cleveland basketball, here's what happened last night. LeBron was married to a woman, her name was Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And they had a whole bunch of kids. Mm-hmm. And LeBron was the king of that castle.
Okay.
And all of the kids looked up to him and said, Daddy, you're the best.
Yeah.
But then LeBron said, you know what, Cleveland? I got a mistress. She looks better. She got a lot of bling.
More cash.
Okay.
And she gives me a better launching pad to success after the NBA.
is
So
sad.
Cleveland, I love you, Lady Cleveland.
This is hitting.
But
But I'm leaving. I love my Lady Los Angeles more.
Okay.
So he left Lady Cleveland.
It sounds
and
like-
he hooks up with Lady LA, big lights, big glam.
This sound like the scene.
It is
off,
hotter.
It is hot.
This sound like the scene
I
off
mean,
of Harlem Nights.
Lady Cleveland
It
might be a
is.
little rough around the edges.
It's
Her
rich.
personality
I
was
never
on
come
point.
home.
She's got a great
And she was
personality.
loyal. She was loyal to a fault. She was loyal.
Yeah.
All your families and friends loved her.
Loved her.
Yes.
Just call him Richard.
So he goes out to Lady LA and gets married, and there's a big party, and they have some success.
Preach.
Now, Lady LA hits some rough times.
okay.
And now
Had some
Lady
work
Cleveland's
done.
looking at Lady LA
both
saying,
sides.
how you like her now?
Yeah.
So then LeBron says, you know what? been a minute since I've been up in my home in Cleveland. I'm going to go visit my old lady Cleveland.
Spin the block.
And I'm going to see my kids.
Yeah.
So he walked into his house. You know, that was his house. He built it.
Yeah.
He walks in there with swagger. What's up, Lady Cleveland? And Lady Cleveland found a new man. And the new man was called Donovan Mitchell. And what Donovan Mitchell did last night was pound his chest and say this.
Yes, Lord.
This is my house now.
He said,
Keep talking.
This is my house.
he said,
Keep
get
talking.
Out. Get out.
Is that a G. Bush worthy analogy?
Hey, listen. If I had a button, down DeMarco.
I love the analogy, and I buy into it mostly, but he ain't accomplished crapola here yet. As
Not
great
yet.
as he's been,
But
he's
Lady
got to win a
Cleveland-
championship.
Lady Cleveland
I will
found
say-
her a
I
new
will
man.
say-
Yes,
But
she's
he got
happy
some,
right
but
now.
he paying a couple bills and he got food in the refrigerator.
And you know what? And the kids,
That's
the
a
kids
fact.
are looking at Daddy Big Bucks, right? And he's saying, "We don't need you anymore, Daddy.
And that
We got a
gotta-
new daddy."
I think that's gotta hurt a little bit.
Who bought you them
Like,
shoes?
like I know LeBron is like, you know,
bought you them?
I know
Donovan.
LeBron is like, yeah, I love the fact that, you know, this atmosphere, me and Cleveland got a good thing, but like you gotta, at some point, it's gotta be kind of hurting us. Like,
No
we
doubt.
don't need
Yeah.
you. Though. Like,
Can we
don't-
stop
good.
making-
if
we
you're
good
human, it
without
hurts.
you.
Listen, unlike
we know he has emotions.
Now, I know he
unlike
got all
most
this
people-
money, but like, come on, man.
I don't really hate on LeBron much, but
I
can we
don't
stop? Can we stop with the tribute videos? Can we give him tribute videos once he retires?
Yeah, first
Let's
Yeah.
stop giving him tribute videos when he's still
When
playing.
he comes to play his last game there,
Yeah,
who knows,
fine.
it could be as a Cavalier. Then we can go nuts.
Hilarious.
That's
And we
even.
can, you know, get
I'm
down
glad
on
you
knees.
just. Do you think that he? Now,
I do.
Now that this has happened,
I do.
Do you think he regrets signing
Hell
that
yeah.
extension with the Lakers?
I mean, he
I
did win a
do.
championship there.
He won a
It ain't the
championship,
same.
but
I'm saying, but he could have left after this season.
So-
Do you think he regrets signing the extension?
well, let me ask you this, Tyvis. His overall LA experience, because it's been wild highs and wild lows.
Yeah.
Overall, success or failure?
he got
Overall,
a ring.
He got a ring, but
I think it's a failure.
I don't think he went there
a
thinking one.
failure.
Now, he didn't do a news conference.
don't
saying,
know.
I agree.
Not
I think
one,
it's
not two,
I
not
think it's
three.
a success because he won. I think from a pure basketball standpoint, he'd obviously rather be on the Cavs than the Lakers.
Now,
he
but
seems to like his lifestyle
I'm
in
thinking-
LA.
He was
so-
thinking more after basketball
Yeah.
terms.
But
So
what I
think for
never
him, it's a
understood about
success.
that is he's LeBron.
You're
If he
LeBron,
had
bro.
waited to go to LA when he retired, would that have affected his media career?
Unless his
no,
wife-
not in the long term.
unless-
They were shoot Space Jam too.
Unless his wife.
I heard
was
Space, I
terrible.
didn't even watch that.
Space
Everybody
Jam
said it was
2 was
awful.
terrible.
You didn't watch it?
Everybody
was
said it was
terrible.
awful. I didn't want to watch it.
Terrible.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Well, I mean,
Well,
you didn't see it.
And I'm in it.
Are you?
Yeah, but it's still terrible.
JB is so sneaky. He's in Frosty the Snowman.
This
Wait,
man
you're in
is
Space
on.
Jam 2?
This man
Yeah,
is
we
on
didn't even know
fire
that.
today.
Yeah. That's just something I like to drop around every
You
now and
you
then.
on it for real?
Listen to them, watch the movie, and when you hear the sportscaster saying LeBron James is coming back to Cleveland, that's
Oh, yeah.
why.
No, it's true. I remember
that.
that. This was before I knew
Did
Jay
you
when I
get
saw
you
it,
got
so I put
royalties
two
for
and
that?
two together.
Oh, my internship ended in 1986.
Hey, and you see why I got the crystal ball? I said, this is the house. It's his house. He built it. He was in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Grinch that stole Christmas. He was
I'm
in
the Grinch.
He was the Pinocchio on ice. He actually is in the Trans-Siberian Orchestra because he owns half of them, only the brass section.
That's
Jay,
true.
Gee, the way you talked about his house sounds like that could have been the house the Grinch went down to steal the Christmas presents. He could house half the Trans-Siberian Orchestra in his guest house.
By the way, can the fans stop embarrassing themselves, not only in Cleveland but across the country, with MVP chants?
I love it.
Stop the
I love
MVP
it.
love it.
Don't- Wait a minute. Don't listen to nothing
Don't-
this man
the
is saying
only
right
thing-
now.
Keep chanting.
Just
Keep chanting.
don't let disregard
Keep
what Bull
chanting
is
that.
saying.
The only thing, and by the way, who is Evan Dramarell that we keep tweeting? Who is this guy?
He got
He's
a
the
check
Lockdown
mark.
Cavs guy that was been on the show 3 times.
Oh, Evan, yeah.
Good to know your coworker, Bull. he just did this. Bull just did this. Oh, Evan.
Oh,
He's not my coworker.
that's like, he
I'm like, who is Evan Dramarell?
he did
We've had him on 3 times.
That'd be like
Really?
me saying,
And Bo, that's the one that you
"Who the hell
didn't.
is Ben
Did you know who he was? Did you know who he was, honestly?
We had him on the show.
Wait, Jay. That's not the one Bull laughed off the show.
No, you're right.
No, I remember that guy.
It's like you
You
sound
knew who Evan Dramarell was?
You sound.
Did you know?
I wasn't on the show.
Tyvis didn't know.
Wait a minute. I wasn't on the show.
on that show.
I wasn't on the show
But
when
here's
he
the
was
thing.
on.
Good for Evan Dramarell.
Jay-Z talking about I don't know Kanye
No
West.
offense to him. I didn't know who he was. I'm
Who's
sorry.
Kanye?
But he's a
MVP.
racist douchebag.
Oh my God.
You talking about the MVP?
But like
shit.
these MVP
Go ahead,
chants,
go ahead.
the only thing worse is the idiots at baseball games who boo the pickoff throw to first base. Those are the biggest idiots. Stop. First of all, it's 25 games in.
Yeah.
Come up with an original chant for Donovan Mitchell to tell him how much you love him.
All I'm gonna say,
MVP.
all
But
I'm
it's
gonna
so
say
cheesy.
It says so much.
if I'm
But
staring,
every fan base does it
If
that
I'm-
has one great player.
Bull, if
And
I-
it's cheesy. It's played out.
if I'm playing and I'm on that,
Oh, I'd
free
love
throw
it if
line
they did
and
it for me, but
chant
let's
it,
get some
listen,
creative.
Keep it going. I might stop my free
We
throw
need to get
routine.
Eddie. Can we get Eddie in studio so he can chant MVP to me?
Ooh. This is.
I want something original, Jay. You're an original guy. Let's get something original.
I'm gonna give you a historical content,
Yeah.
right? So this is nothing new. Even when there were slaves and people in gladiator times,
Yeah.
the gladiator, he said slaves, he said, oh Lord, where's he going with this? He just jumped off the
Slaves?
roof. Gladiators.
They were chanting
gladiators.
MVP for the Gladiators?
No, but the gladiators, whoever had the crowd, became the guy.
I hear you.
And he was standing
But wait a
there,
second.
and they would give him their
You're
applause.
missing my point. I don't have a problem with chanting at Donovan Mitchell. I'm saying be creative about it and come up with something else.
No.
Everybody chants MVP.
What
It's
do
boring.
we come up with?
Come on. How about STD? I don't know.
Whoa!
Why in the world would you take that of all the things you could have said right there?
I'm joking.
Everything you could have said. That's what
I
you
was
came up with?
joking. It was
It's
the first
certain
one.
phrases.
No, come up with something
No.
original. I don't know.
When you say MVP, you got to
Oh
understand.
my goodness.
There are certain
caught me
phrases.
off
Have we been canceled yet?
No.
Have we canceled? This show's off the air now, right? It's off. We're no longer.
There are certain phrases.
right
When
now.
we
You
look
caught
at
me off guard.
when we look at basketball,
Yeah.
when we look at basketball seriously, we look at basketball as what? How many MVPs do you have?
Yeah.
How many rings do you have?
Yeah.
How many championships do you have? Right?
But Donovan Mitchell's not winning the MVP anyway.
But
so
We don't know that.
You never know.
I mean, he's probably not.
And in
We
marketing,
don't know that.
And in
Probably
marketing,
don't mean he's
the first.
not definite.
Do you know what the greatest virus of all time is? A thought.
COVID.
Corona. And he's honoring it with a wall placard behind his.
Hey, cut it out. Cut it out.
It's a thought. If I tell you don't think about pink elephants, you're going to think about pink elephants. So when you say,
Now I'm thinking about Pink Elephant.
there it is.
Yeah.
So when they say MVP, people say don't think about Donovan Mitchell with an MVP. Now they think of him in that
I'm
same
with
light.
you, G. Bush. And here's the thing. I'm with you if they're doing it for Delhi, which this fan base once did.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
I
That was beyond
offended by
embarrassing.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
Unacceptable.
offended by that.
Yeah.
However, is Donovan Mitchell a legitimate MVP candidate
Yes.
right now? And that
No.
is an
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Mike,
Bull.
you
Yes.
missed the basketball.
Yes.
Is he a
The
legitimate MVP?
Easy.
NBA.com's MVP ladder has him as 8th right now on the MVP.
Okay, that's a
Top 10.
legitimate
Is
candidate.
eighth legit?
Top 10.
Out of-
That's top 10.
It doesn't even matter. To me, it doesn't
That's why
matter. I
we-
just want something new. I want us to be creative and come up with a original chant for Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, so viewers, you guys
Come
are
up with
creative
something
as
good.
hell.
We're going to put in
You're
the poll.
creative as hell.
We'll put in the poll.
Viewers, tell us. Well, a poll asks like one or the other. We need suggestions. We need a suggestion box.
Yeah.
What chant should they have for Donovan Mitchell?
Yes.
And please don't respond STD.
Yeah.
I don't even know where that came from. I don't. Bull.
That's
you
crazy.
You never fail to
That
surprise
stands
me.
We
for
will
stop
crowdsource
trying,
that.
damn it.
All right,
We will
Coach.
crowdsource some options. But,
Okay.
it's Coach Tyvis time.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, Coach Ty.
We ready. I got the I'm gonna start it off with the perfect chant. Show me.
What do we got?
We're taking it full. Give us 1 sec, Tyvis.
All right.
Tag board full. Bulls, a hater. That is often the case, I will admit. In this case, I'm not being a hater. I want originality.
All right, okay.
But I appreciate your humor there. That was good.
All right, here we go. So in this play right here, the Texans comes out and they run in cover 3. So to remind everybody, cover 3, this corner has that. This safety has the third. This corner has that third. Linebackers hook. You got your 2 buzzers right here. The Browns are running on the offensive concept. They're running this deep over route, and then they got Amari Cooper running the post. So basically, it's a double post type thing. The key and the objective of this.
Before you get to this point, does Deshaun Watson at this point know with 100% certainty they're playing cover 3?
Well, if you look at it from a pre-snap read, when there's one high, yes, you would say.
So there's no realistic reason to believe he didn't know it was cover 3.
Correct.
Okay.
I think he actually, he knows that it's cover 3.
So let me set this up real quick. In this formation, who is the read for Deshaun Watson and who's the primary target?
All right, so the primary target, this right here is the read right here. This guy will be the read. You putting him in the bind. I've played safety, so I know. What they're going to do is you want to take this guy, you want to put him in his face to entice him. The play action, obviously Nick Chubb is there, so these linebackers are going to go fly up because they have to play Nick Chubb. You have to give him the respect. So where the Texans win this route is this guy becomes the key guy. If this tight end doesn't release, he has no work. So he tells this guy, this corner talks to him and says, hey, I'm gonna take the over route if my guy doesn't come out, which exactly is what happens. So Donovan Peoples-Jones runs that. Mark Cooper runs the post. As this play goes on, hold on, let me switch slides for a second.
So that's why the safety stayed in the middle because the corner took the –
Yeah.
Not to get in my head of myself, if Kevin Stefanski was actually watching that and he says, okay, well, how we make that better?
He need to release that tight end.
If he released the tight end.
He released the tight end.
This play would have worked.
That corner
Now he's gotta pay attention
the
to
corner
him.
has some work
and
to
then
do.
the safety goes outside following
Right, he's got to
DPJ.
move,
Right.
and that
Because
space is now vacated.
Exactly.
Did
Right.
he think that was what was going to happen?
So we
Because
go.
that's a
Take it to
possibility, I
the.
suppose.
I'm ready. All right. So this next picture right here. This is middle of the play. So after the play action, as you can see, all the linebackers have all been brought in because of the run.
It looks like Watson's looking to the left.
So right now, where Watson
His
has
hips
to,
are turned to the
where
left.
Watson,
His helmet looks like he's looking to the right.
yeah. So where Watson has to be a little bit better is his eyes. As a post safety, you're actually told to read the quarterback eyes
Look
when
off the safety.
when you're in the red zone. You have to read because you only get one. You only got time to do one break. So right here. Since this communication between these two guys have already been understood, he's saying, hey, drop it. So Watson is thinking right here in this position, he's like, oh, he's going to take that. And when he takes that, I can hit a Mark Cooper right here on the one-on-one. But what happened is this this safety does a great job of dropping this route to this corner who's picking it up, and he just stands there. But Watson still has to do a better job of not looking where he wants to go. If he looks that way, he's more entitled to go there.
That's called looking off
Yeah, you
the
got to
safety.
look it off.
Off the safety.
Can I bring attention to something?
Yeah, this is a good point.
If you look at it, they running play action and you selling hard run, right? Mm-hmm. What the hell is Jedrick Wills doing?
I have no
Circle
idea.
him. Circle.
He got a different play call.
I have no idea. This is a terrible stop for him right here because this doesn't look good at all.
He's doing nothing.
He's looking back at D.Y.
Hold on, he's looking at Watson like,
Real
what's
quick,
happening
Tyvis.
here?
Hey, Steve, let's take tagboard full. You can see him on the dots. We have the dots of this play. You can see the safety in the middle. Watch Jedrick Willis just.
He let somebody run right.
What's he doing?
He's just standing there. He's just standing there. Remember I said Jedrick Wills, if he doesn't know what he's doing or if he gets beat, he will just stop. He's looking at Deshaun Watson like, you going to throw it to this tight end?
Well, Joe Thomas said that last
week.
Yeah.
And this right here is the prime example
That is a smoking
where
gun.
you say, hey, I messed up, get rid of it.
And Tyvis, to your point about the safety, you can see him kind of trail to the left a little bit and then fishhook back to the middle. And I think that's what you're trying to explain. With
Right,
Watson
and then
is reading.
right. Watson saw him
What
start
a
to go to
gifted
the
reception, though. I mean, he's like, really? Thank you.
Just
That is interesting. So Watson, it looks like, thought he had him go the safety going left, and the safety went left for a sec and then cut right back.
And it all happens in split seconds.
Sure.
It's
And so
actually
sometimes your eyes, you see something, you see the safety drift,
Yeah.
and then you say,
He's gone.
okay, arm, cock and load,
Yeah.
and throw. And by the time you do that, he's already changed direction, but it's too late.
But he's still at that point. If he would have just at least looked a little bit, that safety would have been more enticed to take it. Because as a safety, if somebody puts something in your face, because what would have really helped the safety out is if them linebackers never got brought up. When them linebackers is gone and ain't nobody there, as a safety, it's like, I might have to take this.
Right.
But that corner is like, hey, don't worry about it, I got it. He took it a little bit, dropped it. Deshaun read the quarterback eyes. Deshaun's eyes
Who's the
took it
best
right
you've
back.
ever played against when it comes to looking off safeties? Because some guys do it so well.
It is a lot.
Did you ever play against Aaron Rodgers?
I didn't, but I got to watch.
I think
I
Aaron
watched as a
does it.
rookie. He is really good at doing
Really
that.
good.
I
at
mean,
that.
Brady's
really
got to be
good
as
at
good as
that.
Brady
anybody.
is also
Well,
great at it.
or you get the quarterbacks like Stafford and Mahomes who look like this.
Oh,
and
and
throw
then
it,
can
throw
still
the no
throw while
look.
he's looking them off.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. It was NFL Films, and I think you probably already know who I'm talking
Matt
about.
Stafford in the Super Bowl to Cooper Cup.
Ed Reed and Peyton Manning.
Oh, you talking about where he?
Oh, God.
Yeah. So Ed Reed was like, you know what? I already know that he think I'm gonna be in the third.
So how that one went is they was in cover one. So Ed Reed was showing a too high shell. They was showing cover two. On the snap, Ed Reed said they told Ed Reed, hey, anytime that Peyton Manning sees that somebody's going one high, then they're gonna go away from the side that you ran from. So if I'm on the left side and I gotta go to the middle, Peyton Manning's taught to go that
Right.
side that you left. So what Ed Reed did was on the snap, he took off in the middle, didn't look back to look at
Right.
Peyton, did a baseball turn, went back to
which
where he
was
was at,
unreal.
picked it right off.
You know what? Someone told me about that play. So you always hear the analogy, so and so was playing checkers, but normally the defensive back was playing checkers, but Peyton Manning was playing chess. Someone this told me about that play. Peyton Manning was playing chess, but Ed Reed was playing championship level chess,
like it was crazy.
and he cooked him.
The fact that he said I'm gonna turn my hips and run full baseball turn,
Don't look back for it.
and then say, "Oops,
Money.
psych, I
You're
lied."
literally baiting him into making that throw.
You know who
And-
else was good at doing that? Earl Thomas. So you know how in this defensive scheme that the Browns is running, I told you that the post safety is responsible for the seam of two.
Yes.
Well, usually you line up on that hash mark close there to like get to the seam. Earl Thomas will line up opposite. So he got the seam of two on this side, but he'll line up on
So
this half.
showing some
showing
vacancy
like,
there,
please.
knowing he's gonna
and
fill that
knowing
gap.
on the snap, he just take off right over there and go hit.
brilliant.
It was unbelievable.
Because the
By the way-
quarterback's drooling when he sees him.
Yeah,
over
he's
there.
like, oh, I
It's like,
got
this is stealing.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
By the way, real quick before we go to Leroy, getting back to the Jedrick Wills part of this for a sec, doesn't it seem, based on what Joe Thomas said, based on what we saw in the film there, like his problems seem to be all upstairs and not
think
physical?
so.
I think
you're
it's
right.
listen to me. It's attitude. Like, cause here's one thing people don't get. I still ain't forget when he made that comment about booing. And as
About who?
Jed Williams
booing,
did?
booing last year.
Yeah, last
Oh,
year.
booing, yeah.
Like,
remember.
oh, you
What
guys
did
are
he say?
booing him. You
Yeah.
guys are booing. And
That's part of the freaking sport, man. You got to
offense-
deal with that.
You got to understand, when you in there with offensive linemen are the smartest people in the game. They don't move that way. They don't say nothing. they stick to themselves as a unit. And generally speaking, they have a positive outlook on. You'll never hear an offensive lineman bash a quarterback. But guess what? This dude, Jedrick Wills, be out here. I'm like, it look like he got it. Just his motor don't be running. I'm like, how are you doing that? Like, I know they got to be talking about him in the film room with that. It's play action.
But I think there's
Yeah.
something to what Bull's saying, and Joe Thomas even said this
Yeah,
much.
like-
I think there are times where he's like, oh, I don't know where I'm supposed to be right
this
now.
many years
that,
into
that
the
freeze
league,
frame was
he
perfect. Can
shouldn't
we
be
call that
confused.
again? He's just standing there in the
I'm
middle of
mad.
the war.
He
Yeah.
looking at Deshaun Watson like
He's
this.
looking around going, bullets are flying everywhere, and I hope I don't get hit.
Yeah.
I'm mad
He was out of
that we
place.
stopped it on that.
Let's bring in Leroy, because I want to get his reaction to this AP bulletin. Leroy, this is stunning. The AP announcing just a couple of minutes ago that the committee's picks were
big.
misconstrued, and they actually have Ohio State as the 3, not the 4.
That's
Why
crazy.
it took until Wednesday to figure that out, I don't know. Someone has some answering to do. But I want to get your thoughts on the Ohio State-Michigan rematch now that they've rejuggled this thing.
It's garbage because and first of all, Jay, get rid of your damn smirk. Okay. Hey,
I think I might
let me
have
tell
read
you
for
what.
a second.
let me tell you why.
I was like, hold it. You got to hold
Let
it.
me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Before all of this came out,
Yeah.
I sent Jay a text. And the text basically said, I want the committee to do that same garbage they did to Michigan last year
Give him that.
to try to keep Georgia from playing Alabama again.
Right.
Okay? They did it last year.
Also, you didn't want that Ohio State smoke.
No, it got nothing to do with that.
Oh.
Guess what? Michigan should not have played Georgia the first game last year. They dropped Michigan after winning the Big Ten championship. So you telling me this year they're going to do it again? They not going to do it? No. Hell no. So I was just saying, bring that same, if you don't want to see two teams from the same conference playing, you ain't got to admit it, but you got to do it with your actions. And guess what?
Yeah.
That's what they did.
They did.
So
hey, by the way, Leroy and Jay and everybody else, here's the thing. Right now, there's a lot of traditionalists, which I don't know how you're a traditionalist with college football anymore because there is no tradition,
gone.
who don't like the fact that Ohio State could play Michigan a second time. There's probably some people that are bothered by that.
Yeah.
But guess what? Once we go to 12 playoff teams, and once we go to no divisions in the Big Ten, they may play 3 times in a year.
It's possible they could play 3 times.
If they get rid of divisions, it might happen regularly.
It will probably happen every year if they get rid of the divisions.
Why?
Yeah.
I wonder how they would
Here's
do
what
the
I wish they
gold
would do.
fans.
Here's what I wish
Get
they would do
prepared.
with the divisions. I don't want them to get rid of the divisions. But what I would like them to do is reseed them every year. So you would go, however you finish, you alternate. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 2,
that's
4, 6,
interesting.
8, 10.
You know what, Leroy? That's really interesting.
I like that, but I would go 1 and 4 in one division, 2 and 3 in the other.
No. I'm talking about for the Big Ten.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, he's not talking about
sorry.
bracket style.
Because here's what happens.
I love that idea. I love it.
You have Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Illinois, all on the same side, which is all your ranked teams.
And I
so
that
that means whoever you play in the championship,
No points.
right?
No points. You get no
Right,
points for
and
that.
it's not the players' fault that you got the divisions as such.
That's why they
Leroy,
need to get rid
you
of the division.
I think this is brilliant. I don't know if this is your idea or you've heard it from someone else, but this is brilliant. There are in soccer, I think it's the European League.
I'm down for
I don't
Get
know
relegated.
much about soccer. They
I
get
like-
relegated.
Yep.
So that means, like in baseball, if a team wants to tank and get a first-round draft pick, nothing's punitive about it.
Well, they do have a lottery now for the first time.
They do,
Yeah.
and it evens it out. It keeps a team from doing that. The NBA's done that for
Right.
years. But what I love about Leroy's idea is it would change the divisions every year based on the strength of those divisions. So
Yes.
instead of having this East Division that has all of the powers, and then you've got Nebraska and Rutgers and all, a bunch
Which
of
has been the case
pushovers
for a
in the
while,
other
except for
divisions.
Wisconsin
I mean,
occasionally.
Purdue in the Big Ten
I know,
championship
it's
game
ridiculous.
is a miss.
Even still,
Right.
whether they went no divisions or did this,
I'd rather
Michigan and Ohio State would still play each other most years.
I'd rather
in
go
the Big
with
Ten
that.
No,
championship.
but here, in a lot of instances, you're still going to play the game. They might play back-to-back games. I'm fine with that.
I
But
am too.
Here's the problem.
If one is good, two is
the
better.
one thing that you can avoid is what's happening every year. Is that Michigan plays Ohio State basically for the Big Ten championship.
Right.
And depending on where the other team is, they're going to be at 5 or 6 or even higher getting into the to the playoff, when in actuality you could split them up and at least have the strength of schedule as such that it makes it more of a possibility
That's a genius
that
idea.
two teams could get there.
So you just want to re-put
Every single year it
Every
changes.
year.
And you know what?
Man,
Here's what you do,
get rid of the
Leroy.
divisions.
Let's further develop your idea before you
because
call the Big Ten
USC and
commissioner.
UCLA coming.
The divisions are going to be called even and odd. In the odd division,
Why
get
you got
one-
to take a perfectly good idea and ruin it?
No, I ruined it.
Even
By the-
in odd divisions?
By the way,
even and odd. The 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11.
By the way,
I know.
Going
wait
one.
a second. You
2,
guys
4, 6,
both have the
7.
same idea, and you're both wrong. Let me make it even better.
Oh, Bull's
I'm
got
with-
it.
I'm
Hold
with
on.
Bull.
It's
Hold
got to
on.
be Division 1 should be 1 and 4. Division 2 should be 2 and
No,
3.
here's why.
How
Here's
about
why.
it's just
Otherwise,
no
the one division will always have the better one in each
I'm
group.
going to tell you
no
why that's a bad
divisions.
idea.
Just
Tell me
give it-
why.
just no
In most years, Ohio
Yeah.
State and Michigan are 1 and 2. But if that happens, they are automatically in opposite divisions.
Right.
for them to be in the same division, Ohio State or Michigan one would have to be all the way down to 3.
Right.
I don't think you want those teams in the same division.
But your way has them in the same division at 1 and 3. I'm saying
No.
Poles
Normally they
there's
finish
no way.
1 and 2.
No, he's saying 1 and 4. 2
I'm
and 3 would
saying
be the
1
same.
and 4 in one division, 2 and 3 in the other division.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So
that
you're
makes
saying
sense.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So each time this side gets the higher seeded team.
Yes.
I'm saying 1, 2,
No, but it's
3,
not a
4.
tournament. It's not like a bracket. They're
I
just in
understand
the same
that.
division.
I understand that, but I think it's more evenly balanced the way
think
I'm
that-
doing it versus the way you're doing
I think it'd be perfectly balanced if they just
Here's-
get rid of
We're
the
too far in the weeds.
Here's what I
Mike,
think.
at least you understand.
Here's what I'm going to ask you this question, Leroy, because this is if they I'm fast forwarding it, but if Ohio State and Michigan play in the national championship, that's that's the biggest game in the history of bowl.
You
and
imagine
Woody,
for the ratings for that game?
all the way across. But I'm going to ask you
That's
this.
why this is going to happen. I think Leroy's idea is
I'm
going to happen.
going to ask you this.
I think it's brilliant.
I ain't never seen a man make it to the national championship and still get fired. If Ryan Day goes and plays Michigan in the national championship,
No, they're not going to fire him.
and
After he would've beaten Georgia?
and they watch Harbaugh raise that trophy over his head, and if the score is bad, he's out of here. I'm telling you. I'm letting you know that right now.
Can I just tell you this?
Their 2 losses would have been to the national champion.
If you get past
True.
if you get past Georgia,
win.
we ain't having this conversation.
Win.
No, he's not getting fired no matter what. Not this year.
On the other hand, if they beat Georgia and Michigan, then all the dopes that said fire Ryan Day are going to look like even bigger
Titus,
assholes.
where
He'll
are you
get
on the fire
extension.
Ryan Day conversation?
Yeah.
You can't.
I've
listen,
always said not to
guys,
fi-
you can't fire a coach on one game.
No way. No way.
Now,
I've always
see,
said
look,
that
the
he's-
difference between him and John Cooper was Michigan wasn't John Cooper's only loss. Stop acting like he
Right.
just couldn't get past Michigan.
And that was a decade, too, not
Cooper was
No,
2
you're
years.
wrong
Was
on
one
that,
and-
though.
yeah, I'm
There
about
were-
to
there
say.
were 3 times. John Cooper was 1-9-1 against
I'm about to
Michigan.
say.
That's why he got fired.
Cooper's teams was ridiculous.
There were 3 times that John Cooper went into that game undefeated.
Yeah.
And
But
when you're
that
Ohio
was,
State and you're undefeated.
but Jay,
going
that
into
was
that
still
game, you're
over
ranked
a
number 1.
decade where Ryan Day's
Right.
1 and 2. I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But I want to make it clear. Leroy's making it sound like
No,
had
he got
trouble
fired
beating
for
other
that.
Teams.
Yes.
He didn't have problems beating other teams. He beat there were 3 times he went into that damn game undefeated
Yeah, you
and
can't-
lost.
yeah.
You can't do that.
Y'all underestimating the power of the moment.
Y'all got to cut
In
it
that
out.
in that
This
moment,
this is why he
No,
won't get fired.
you got the wrong M word.
You can't.
The wrong M word. You mean the power of the money.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
you're
It
being
ain't
a
the
prisoner of
moment.
the moment.
And the
You can't-
boosters.
you
It's the
can't-
money.
I'm the knee-jerk reaction guy.
Who you gonna replace him
Why,
with? is
why
the
my
question.
ACLs is bad.
Look
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Relationship.
Wait a minute.
My knees
How you
been doing this forever.
Hey, how you gonna be a knee-jerk reaction guy and cut your food up into baby pieces? It seems like you're real methodical.
I wish I could have been a fly.
Hey, Leroy, we haven't talked about the Browns. What the hell are we doing?
So here's the deal. First of all, that offensive lineman that's standing around doing nothing,
Told you.
Yeah, Jedrick Wills.
he don't know what he's doing.
That's right.
Joe Thomas said
no,
as
no,
much
no.
last week.
When you ever have questions about a person standing around, it's not because he don't want to. It's not because he's not athletic. It's not because he doesn't have heart. It's because he's unsure of what to do.
So
And
it's
that
a
happens
playbook
too
issue.
much with him.
It's a playbook thing, right?
Yes, absolutely,
That's fixable.
absolutely.
That's on him.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that is
that's
on
on
him.
him.
Yeah.
That's
why
on
not,
him.
Why not the coaches?
Dude, you get it from a playbook. Learn it.
Why
No-
not? No. Why?
Because
maybe,
here-
maybe they coach
because
him
here-
it. It's something. It's clearly
The other
a
guys seem to
hey,
know what's
it's
going on.
clearly a disconnect
This is
somewhere.
his 3rd year in the league.
Ty.
I mean, come on.
Ty,
Get it.
let me tell you why.
No, when it was on the defense, it was Joe Woods. So why can't this be
Ty.
Kevin
That's fair.
Stefanski?
That's fair.
Hey, Ty,
tell you
Ty,
why.
I'm gonna tell you why right now.
No,
Ty.
Leroy wants in.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Leroy.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you working at practice and they doing it at a speed you could pick it up, and then when you see the same action in the game, sometimes it catch you off guard, right?
Okay.
And it's like that for everybody. You look at the secondary. How many times does the secondary blow coverage and they like, we worked on this all week? Say, no, you ain't working at this speed. And so from that standpoint, that happens. And it happens with offensive linemen a lot.
That's the same thing on defense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So it's on the player.
But and then on that play you were talking about,
learn the playbook.
Ty.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Ty.
And
Thank you.
Ty.
Thank you so
Ty.
much.
however,
I appreciate it.
however, one second.
I thought everybody see that. Thank
However, the reality
always
is
said that.
the defense as a whole has been a disaster, whereas the offense as a whole has been good.
And here's the other thing. And this is why I'm saying player. In this instance, he's always the guy that's going.
He's always do.
Right.
Where am I? Am I in Nebraska? Where
Ain't
am I
nobody-
right
ain't
now?
nobody else
Where
up there
on
doing
the
that.
defense, the breakdown has been this player and this player,
Right.
that player and this player, and everybody's breaking down.
That's not true.
You
That's
have told me.
That's not
No,
true.
Hey,
Taki's clearly
so
out of
Ty-
position here. JOK doesn't know what he's doing here.
was I wrong?
I got to tell you, Denzel took the wrong bait here. Like, you've given me a lot of different names on that defensive secondary and linebacker core that have been in the wrong place.
But it's all been because of they just didn't understand the
But do
playbook.
all the offensive linemen look lost, or is
No.
it just one?
Just one.
Thank
Hey,
you,
something
Leroy.
you like. Hey, here's the other thing. Ty,
Skills
on that play where
players
Deshaun threw that
on
pick,
the coaches.
on the play where Deshaun threw that pick,
Yeah.
it's a moot point if the tight end get out in the flat.
Oh, that's what I
Absolutely.
just said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
that corner gotta respect it.
He would because here's what he would have had. That cornerback got to go get that tight end, or he walks into the end zone, and now you got two crossing routes with one safety. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's what I said.
And
So you got 11 coming across. If 84 gets out, he dump it off and score. Right?
It's wide open.
Or that corner got to come
that corner
up.
got to respect it, and,
Gotta
and then
come up.
then
Because
5 got to go with
because
11
it's like,
and Omari's
it's almost
open.
here. It's almost
numbers
like a
game.
cover 2. It's almost like a cover 2 mentality.
And
That
by the
corner
way,
is going to back up until somebody flashes.
show the play one more time and tell me who Farrell Brown touches on this play.
Who
84.
84 is
84.
Farrell
I
Brown.
can't even read the numbers.
So I don't know.
You know what he was in there
My
for?
deal is
to give
that-
Jedrick Wills help.
And he didn't block nobody.
Am I wrong?
That's probably
But-
why.
but-
That's
but-
probably
but-
exactly what it is.
Here, I can pretty much guarantee you one or two things happen. And this happened to me before. Where we get in the huddle, we know you got a beast on that edge, and that tackle will look up at me and say, "Give me a little chippy chip."
Chip.
Right. And so what ends up happening is I go out there to chip, he leave, and I got that beast on me. And then get to the sideline and the coach say, "You have no blocking responsibility. Why didn't you get underneath that corner?" You see?
Yep.
Now, he ain't hit nobody. So that's easy pickings.
Yeah.
You basically got a corner that have to decide, am I going to back up and keep chasing DPJ, or am I going to come up and get this tight end? And so it's all the little things that happen offensively. Keep in mind, it didn't look like nobody blocked, so Deshaun had to make a decision quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's bring Robert
so you
in,
have
too.
all these things. It's like the end result was bad. But there's a lot of smaller things that happen during that play that need to be corrected. I think, and here's what I would say about the guard, is that it almost looks like anytime they run any type of games where they stunt and slant inside, he want to block the guy. He want to block his guy. And he want that guy to line up in front of him. If they move, he would do that signal like Ty. Danger! Danger! They moving.
You know what? On that note, bring Robert.
Yeah, bring
in.
Robert
Yeah,
Smith in.
you've had it with Robert.
I'm done.
By
with
the
you,
way,
bro.
by the way, Robert,
done with him.
I was listening to the Howard Stern show. I don't know if you heard about this, but I was listening to the Howard Stern show. I don't know if it was earlier this week or last week, and they were playing a bunch of clips that, taken out of context, sounded like they could have been
I saw this.
sexual innuendo.
And he on there.
And the first clip they played was Robert Smith.
Talking
Same
about
way.
Randy Moss. No, it was
It was about a tight end.
No, it was about a receiver catching the ball. He says, "You the one that said suck the balls in?"
Nah,
Okay, I
he
swear
said
it was him.
something about that guy's got this guy's a great. I don't something about. I thought it was about like somebody's tight end, whatever. You know,
Right.
It was obviously he's talking football, but the whole out of
idea
context.
To
The
take
clip,
things and yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
it was
had a couple of those
it was
moments.
on Howard. It was on Howard Stern though.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah,
You know,
it was really funny. They're
had-
like,
we had
here,
one of those
our
with the
first
media.
one is Robert Smith on whichever game. I can't remember which game it was now. And I was like, oh my God, I got to hear this.
Oh, that's too funny. I got to check. And I've caught myself a couple times. You know, like with tackle plays. You know, you don't want to say he pulled out a little bit early. Hey, he pulled back. Excuse me.
That's so funny. Hey,
Oh, my
Robert, I want you to grade Deshaun Watson.
I lost audio. I can't hear.
I can hear you,
Can't
Robert,
hear.
but they can't hear
Oh,
us.
there we go. I got you now. I got you. You're back.
I
Jay,
can
can you
hear.
say that again? What's that? You can hear me, Leroy?
I can hear you, but I can't hear them.
Yeah, we're off now.
Oh, hey. So anyway, Robert, check this out. So I was telling them like they showed the Deshaun Watson interception, and they were throwing DPJ going across to the back end, and then
Yeah, I
they
saw
had
it.
Amari Cooper coming across, and
And the tight end doesn't get out.
Right, the left corner backs up, and I'm like, he gonna keep backing up until that tight end gets in the flat. Like
Yeah.
that's you got to have that flat guy to eat up that, and then he's gonna have two choices because that safety or that safety's gonna have to chase DPJ all the way across, and then you're gonna have
Right.
Amari Cooper coming where he was without that tight end who was doing nothing. I said, but here's what happens. I say sometimes you get in that huddle, and that tackle will look up at you and say, "Give me a little chippy chip."
Yeah,
Right? Help me
heard
out.
you, yeah.
And so you go help out, and then the play goes to hell, and you get yelled at from the coach, right? You got to get there. We threw a pick because you wasn't in the flat, and you looking at your left tackle like, yo, like, you know, it
Actually,
happens.
Stu-
Like,
So a lot of times, Stooce would ask me not to chip, you know, because sometimes it would throw him off his block. You know what I mean? It's
guess,
just harder for
but-
him to reset his feet after a chip. But
yeah,
you're
but
right.
all
I mean, so much in you know little details like that and structure that needs to be worked out. And you know, hell, Deshaun 700 days without playing, man.
what did you think it was going to look like?
I know. I mean, preseason doesn't count. You know that. Like it's just so much faster. But I'm interested to see him this weekend. I mean, I think that jump is going to be huge for him. Just kind of getting that monkey off of his back and getting back out.
I think he's going to be better technically. Like he didn't look like he was throwing the football like a quarterback. He looked like he was a dude who had the ability to throw. So once he gets his footwork down and the decisions, the game, he gets to the speed of the game, he'll get back to it. But to expect the best thing that could ever happen was the Houston Texans. Because he would have lost to any other team. They didn't score. They didn't score
That
off
is
his
crazy.
touchdown.
First time in the history of the team that you have, you know, three non-offensive touchdowns like that.
Right. And I
no
don't care. You
offensive
get the best thing is, look, you got the win, you move on. He's got to work on his technical aspect of being a quarterback, footwork, release, and all that stuff. Because that's why the passes are off. The passes aren't off because he's rusty. The passes aren't off because he's not using the technique which enables him to throw an accurate pass. And it's something that as a quarterback, you do it long enough, it's like second nature. So you just think you're going to pick it up, but then them bullets start flying And
Yeah.
you got to speed
Yeah,
it up.
the first time in a real game in that long, it's just different. And you're right. I mean,
Right.
all those mechanics, that muscle memory of what you had done and certain situations, certain looks, the feel in the pocket, whatever the case may be, like all of that changes.
I mean, we've missed a couple of weeks in a row, and you come back and you think that you're in good shape, but as soon as you get in the game, you start breathing heavy. You start getting hit. You're like, I can't breathe. Like it's a hard thing to explain about being in shape and being able to run a whole bunch of gassers
Yeah.
or sprints, and then
Yeah.
being able to run and play when you get the wind knocked out of you, when you get a thigh, you get a hit on the thigh, when you get tackled and the pile falls on you. Like, it's a big difference. So
Yeah, and for a quarterback too, just processing everything.
right.
Having to process all of that stuff and
Yeah,
just kind
quickly.
of again
And as we can
getting that-
see, some of the stuff he wasn't processing quick enough. So
Yeah.
it was
and
errant throw.
that's a perfect example down in the red zone. Things are sped up so
Right.
much, the decisions so much faster, and
Plus, nobody was blocking.
What was that?
Nobody was blocking. So he had
Yeah.
guys in his face right away. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing worse than seeing the offensive lineman looking at your quarterback when the ball snapped. Right? You look at me
Like, hey,
yeah. So
good luck.
Let's talk about this Michigan-Ohio State thing. So I thought that the only team that could really lose, I would say, was USC. I thought TCU would be in regardless because of all the teams that they played the highest ranked team.
Right.
So you're gonna be hard pressed to move another team above them when they're risking their undefeated season in a championship game against a top 10 team. So I thought if anybody had a chance to get Ohio State in, it would have been USC. Now, it's a shame their quarterback was hurt because he was balling.
Yeah.
But so when you look at it, Georgia's got to play, Ohio State, which is the same style of football Michigan plays, except better, right? And
Well, with a team like Georgia, Ohio State hasn't been running the ball well. So
right.
you hope that those guys are back, but that's a big part of it. I mean,
Well, they didn't even play the freshman.
What's that?
The freshman balled out the week before, and they didn't even play him against Michigan.
And they only got 2 carries.
Right.
And he got 2 carries in the mid, but here, Georgia will force teams to throw, and they're going to get pressure. And Jalen Carter has gotten healthier. The one beast off of that defense last year, maybe the best player on that defense back this year. He concerns me. One man wrecking crew. And you talk about structure of an offense. What formations you can use, what plays you can run. You have to account for them. You have to leave a tight end in. You have to have more protection. Means more guys that aren't going to be out in the routes. Means that the protection has to hold up, and you have to try and find one of those guys a lot faster. And obviously having Jackson Smith and Jigba, opt out and turn pro right now doesn't help. But you got some weapons, and LSU threw the ball all over Georgia, and they've that's kind of been the one area. That's kind of been the one area that's been a weakness for them. But there's nothing that tells me
you got to have the time, though.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, and if you can't balance it out with a run attack, and Georgia has been great against the run, less than 3 yards a carry, one of the best in the country. If you can't balance out your attack with some sort of running game, slow those guys down a little bit, give them something to fear in the running game, get those offensive back forward.
Yeah.
That's why I say that I think Michigan more consistently, especially when Corum was healthy, but even with Edwards, and I know it was only a few big plays and things like that, but I feel more confident in Michigan's ability to run the ball than Ohio State's ability to run the ball.
Yeah, I think overall offensively, Ohio State may be more talented, but they don't always get a chance to use all that talent because they don't have a base. That base is running the football. And when Ohio State started games running the football well, everything seems to open up. But if they try to push that issue early, as far as throwing the ball and getting CJ Stroud, into the game or whatever, it always backfires. It ends up being like a sloppy game because you can start off with the run and go back, but you can't start the run late because the mentality of your team is lost, right? So every time we play the game, I don't care who we had, what's the first thing the coach say? We're going to establish the run every Wednesday morning, right? He may not believe it, but he always wanted us in the mindset of it's going to be a physical game. And I think that's what's gotten lost from Ohio State, that physicality that they have to use to win some games. They've lost it because of all of the weapons that they have offensively, and they forgot about their bread and butter, where it all starts.
Yeah, and last time Ohio State won a national championship, it was the game against the game against Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, with a run game, right? I mean, everybody talks about Cardale Jones. He did a great job stepping in, but it was that run game and Ezekiel Elliott that really were the difference, including the back.
Absolutely.
Ended up winning that game. So yeah, I mean, that run game just hasn't been the same, and I don't think the offensive lines haven't been the same. I think they just haven't had the guys, and you look at what Kirby Smart has done, over the last couple of years. We're going to win in the trenches, and everybody says it, but can you recruit the guys to do it? And Georgia's been able to do that. Offensive and defensive line, they've been dominant.
Right. So we're going to shut this down, Robert, because they're going to reboot the system. And since we had our own show, it's been a while. It's been a while since we had a show.
Oh man, that's so crazy. That's how it all got started, Elroy.
That's how I got started. Robert said, "You ain't got nothing to do. Come on, talk on the radio with me." That was it. I got a taste for it. Thanks, brother. We'll see you next week. All right.
All right.
Later. All righty.